What's going on, guys? It is Dave here with a updated Madolche deck profile. This is not optimal per se, but it will do. Pot of Prosperity should be in this deck, but it is not. Here we go. We have Triple Madolche. She is your best starter. And like other people might say it's Angeli, it is not Angeli, I swear. Petting Sister, she's your second best starter because you don't have to commit a normal summon with her. But ideally, you just want a Madolche for her. That's like the thing. Now we have Angeli. Angeli is really good still, but not your best starter. And it's mainly because she tributes for cost and that leaves a monster in your graveyard. So like, you can't follow up with petting if they interrupt you with Ash. Contrary to other lists, I am playing 3 Who Cake, but that's also because there are 9 monster hand traps in this deck. So Who Cake's not necessarily a brick with 9 hand traps in the deck. This can probably change, but yeah, because there's so many hand traps, there's 3 Who Cake. 2 Gelato, unfortunately, you have to play 2. He does like next to nothing in your hand, and the only way to like still do full combo with him in your hand is to like change the order and like normal summon him, which is really awkward. But yeah, you have to play 2 of it. 1 Pudding, just because she helps you go further. There's a version of this deck that does not need to play her, unironically enough. You have to go through like an extra step, but yeah, there's a version of the deck that doesn't play her. But it is better if you play her, because she has a lot of utility. People forget about her battle phase effect. So like you can summon her and then break boards with her and then like clean out the rest of the board in main phase 2. So she's really good. I am still playing Cruff. You can absolutely cut this card, but there have been times when like your hand is just awkward enough that this guy can pull you out of it, or at least get your engine started. And that's why I think he's worth playing. So there's Cruff. On to what I was talking about earlier, the 9 monster hand traps. Now, I think this is the only hand trap that like you have to play in this deck, quote unquote. But yeah, you need to play Ash, especially in this wild ass format. Lancia, I think, is one of the better choices for hand trap, for like flex hand traps, because you've got dinos are still gonna run around. With Miss at 1, like that deck is still gonna be crazy. Tri Brigade is a really good deck, so like yeah, that deck is still wild. So yeah, I think Lancia is one of the better picks. With Engage being back in the format, I think Droll is going to be a good card. Drytron also searches a lot, so like this hits that. But I can't think of a better hand trap for this spot, quote unquote. Like maybe Valor, but I think this is just better because some decks it just like ends their turn. That's it for the monsters. Spells, this is the best spell card in the deck. If you're thinking about playing Madolches and you see a deck profile that doesn't have 3 of this card in it, you should click away, because this is the best spell card in your deck, like not even close. It's a double summon and it gets you another card. Play this at 3. It's insane. Yes, 2 of it in your hand does nothing, but you want to see this card at all times. I'm still opting to play 2 Chateau, because there are times when you can extend with the second Chateau. A lot of people cut this card in favor of something different, but I still think 2 is good because you can use it to like help you push through stuff. 1 ticket still, like honestly, there are a lot of times when you don't even need this card. It just like gives you an extra body on board, and it helps OTKs a little bit, but this deck OTKs very well without this. So honestly, I think ticket is a little optional. These are kind of flex spells, but Book of Moon, I think Book of Moon is still good. There are a lot of decks where if they normal summon and you book it, like their turn ends. And you can, like, if they summon in the middle monster zone, you can make things really awkward for them to play just because, like, how monster zones actually matter now. So, Book of Moon's good. And then the Call by the Grave, like, I don't know why you wouldn't play this card. It's at 1 for a reason. You can't really get mad at me if I draw this card and win because of it, but if you do, then that's your problem, not mine. And sorry to say it like that. Onto the traps. 2 Promenade. This card is bonkers. It's like Borreload Savage Dragon in a trap, and we can search it. This is the one thing Madolche's was missing, a searchable trap card. And we got it, and it's really good. So 2 is good because like you search 1 in the opening combo, and then on the next turn, you'll most likely have Salon up. So whenever you shuffle something back to the deck, then you can get your second Promenade to help play through whatever your opponent can still set up. So 2 is a good number for that. Gravediggers, because we are playing Rafflesia in the extra deck. This is the only way to play around Nib, like in the whole deck, or like in the game for Madolche. So like playing this is, you kind of have to. And you can also shuffle it back with Glass, so you can use it again on your opponent's turn, which is actually really neat. So yeah, Gravediggers is good. And then the last 3 traps are Imperm. It serves as another hand trap, and it's good going first because you can set it, of course. So yeah, that is the main deck. If you have access to Prod of Prosperities, I don't because I'm poor, and I will openly admit that. Cards you can cut include Cruff. Let's see, Cruff. You can cut one of the Hoot Cakes for sure. That's 2 cards, and then like you could maybe cut one of like a Book of Moon and then play this as another one of, or a Chateau if you're like really anti-2 Chateau. But yeah, those are cards you can cut for the Pot of Prosperities. But yeah, you should be playing Pot of Prosperity in this deck. On to the extra deck. Now this is where people might like shoot me because I'm not playing 3 of all the Madolches, but like it's good to have utility even though most of your extra deck is going to go away from Prosperity. But the only Madolches I think you really need 3 of are Glass Souffle. This is the best. As much as I hate to say it because Queen Tiramisu is one of my favorite cards in the game, this is probably the best Madolche Xyz monster right now. She does so much stuff. Like not only does she protect one of your Madolche monsters from monster effects, she shuffles 2 cards in the graveyard back into the deck. Now with the format that we're in and the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is right now, shuffling 2 cards from the graveyards back into the deck can be absolutely game-changing. Like you could go from losing to your opponent not being able to do as much and then winning on the next turn because of this card. Like you can shuffle anything back. She's so good. She's so good. And she's thick, like 2,500, 3K under the field spell. She's incredible. 3 a la mode. The only reason you have to play 3 of this is because you go through at least 1 in the opening combo, sometimes 2 if you feel like going the distance. But this card starts a lot of your stuff, so like you need to play 3 of it. And the OG Queen Tiramisu, the reason this deck is good / was good, but like still really, really good. Shuffling 2 cards back, not targeting, is still I think the best form of removal in the game. So like only 2 Queen. And then here's the Rafflesia. I'm only playing 2 Queen. Let me explain a little bit further. I'm only playing 2 Queen because like 9 times out of 10 when you resolve Queen, you're ending the game. So that's why I think 2 is fine. Rafflesia, so you can get your Gravediggers on. That's the Xyz monsters. 2 of the Link monster, just because the Link monster doesn't really do anything. It lets you send monsters to grave to trigger Glass, but that's about it. So yeah, and I mean she has cute protection if your opponent's trying to like single target remove your Madolche spell cards, and she can protect herself, but other than that she's only okay. The next 4 cards you can hypothetically make anything you want. I have Unicorn just in case. I've got a Masquerena just in case. This should probably be like a Phoenix or something, especially with Sky Striker coming back into the game. Boral Sword just to like help you kill people. This should probably be Access Code Talker, I don't know. Or like a Link Spider, just in case dinos are still like actually real. And Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I read this card and I didn't believe that it did what it did. So as we all know, Link Summoning is inherent, so like she's kind of like removal. She can help break a board. If they're playing into your established board and they can't clear everything you have, but they leave you with enough materials to like make this and to make this with one of their monsters, then regardless of whether they set something like Unreal up, you can just link into this and use whatever problem monster it has or they have. But again, most likely you're going to be getting rid of these 4 with Prosperity. So there's that. I'm going to do the combo. Just the 1 card standard, like bread and butter. You guys have seen this 1,000 times before, but I'm just going to do it again so everybody knows what's happening. And all you need to do this combo, you can do this, you can end up with the exact same stuff with any of the 9 starters that I mentioned earlier, minus like 1 monster if you don't open Mage. But you can open up with the exact same spells and traps and all that other good stuff. But just Mageline if they don't interrupt you. I have to make that clear, if they don't interrupt you. So you normal summon Mage, of course. Give me a second, I'm getting the extra deck fixed. But you normal summon Mage, you search your petting, of course. Everything's going to look like what you've seen on YouTube 1,000 times. I'm just going to show it anyway in case you decided to stick around this long. You go get petting from your deck. After you go get petting, you special summon petting, and then you do the thing where you go get your pudding cess. We all see where this is going. Where's my pudding? It's in here, I know it is. There it is. And she is now level 4 because of petting Cesar's effect. So you overlay these to make your first glass souffle. You detach petting. What you detach for this combo is actually very important. So detach the petting. It doesn't matter what you target because glass souffle doesn't stick around very long, and Madge has already done her effect. So then you just put putting all mode on top. You use putting all modes effect to put your petting back into the deck. Oh, Madeline should also probably not be in the middle zone, and that's just for like getting really nitpicky in the combo. But so you detach to activate all modes effect to go get Angeli. You go get Angeli, you Madolche Lone Fire Angeli into the Hoot Cake, and then use Hoot Cake to banish the glass souffle. Do not, under any circumstances, banish Angeli. Angeli's got to go back into the main deck. So you banish her to go get your Messengelato. Your Messengelato will trigger getting you, where's it at? Chateau. Chateau will shuffle back Angeli as a mandatory effect, and then Olive Mode gets to trigger again, because she is not once per turn as long as Pudding Cess is underneath her, like when a Madolche monster is returned to the deck. So you'll use her effect again to go and get Messengelato. Now this is where a lot of people will do weird things and like go get Ticket or something random like that. No, you remember the best spell card I told you about? You always go get Salon. Always. Never, never, ever don't get Salon. So you go get Salon. With Madge and Messengelato, I'll explain why you use Madge and Messengelato after I finish the combo. You will make your second glass souffle. Keep in mind you haven't used the shuffle back effect yet. So then you will link these two off into the Link monster. Where is she at? There she is. You'll link those off in the Link monster, and then you'll trigger Glass Souffle's second effect to shuffle Messengelato and Chocolate a la Mode back into your deck. You shuffle back Messengelato because on your like follow up, you can specialist from the deck to get more stuff. But yeah, you shuffle these back into the deck, and then when they shuffle back into the deck, your Salon triggers, and here's where things can either get spicy, or you can just do the correct, what I think is the correct thing, and set your Promenade. So this is what you get with one card. Some people will go get Ticket instead of this, and then make, what's her face? Queen on top of Glass Souffle, or sorry, putting a la Mode on top of Glass Souffle, and then shuffle back the last monster. So then you get Ticket to trigger, which will get your Messengelato, and then you'll get Promenade. So you end up with an extra card, 2 extra cards that way. However, you don't have Glass Souffle's 1 protection, 2 graveyard shuffle back. That's like the most important part of this card. So I think this is where you should stop. Like bar none, this can't be destroyed by battle. The reason you put it in the middle zone is because it gets some extra protection from Sistart, and you can make it unaffected by monster effects. So it can't be affected by monster effects, it can't be destroyed by battle, and then 9 times out of 10 you'll still have like a monster in your graveyard. Now the reason you use Madeline is because when you activate Glass Souffle's effect to inevitably either shuffle something back from their graveyard for no reason, or to protect one of your monsters from a monster effect, you have Madeline in the graveyard for your Promenade. You have Pudding Cess just in case you need to Promenade before you Glass Souffle, but having access to Madeline, this is like just like hitting the reset button and giving you a definite follow-up. Now keep in mind, you did all this with 1 card. You did all this with Madeline. you still have 4 other cards in your hand to work with. The most I've ever plussed on an opening turn combo, still ending with like everything I needed, I think was +7. So I ended up with 12 cards total. And this. So like there was a Messenger Lotto here and then other cards in my hand. But yeah, this is Madolche's. I think it's a really good pick this format, honestly, because of Glass Souffle. She makes it okay to play these mediocre cards. So yeah, that's Madolche's. Catch me at the next live event, but you will not catch me at a remote YCS. And that's all I got to say about that. Have a great evening.